Hey guys, welcome back to another lap of Falcon's followers. Last time, Tinsel and the Duelists wound up enlightening as they followed Falcon while he rescues Jody from exploding power plants, in which Yugi actually transformed into Yami and volunteered to assist the rescue mission with his own Egyptian god card, Slifer the Sky Dragon. They were pretty successful, and Falcon didn't even notice it. So they saved Jody, and Falcon noticed that Black Shadow was up to his old tricks, which is actually new to Tinsel and Duelists. So, let's get this started. This is undoubtedly one of my favorite chapters. Actually, my all-time favorite chapter. If you've seen the movie Speed, then you should already know the concept. In fact, I have watched Speed when I was little, but I've only seen the bus scenes, not the whole movie. Not until around 2006, that was when I got to Keanu Reeves, and it was surely a blast. Although the sequel should be highly avoided. Lousy replacement. Alright, lap 6, aka Black Shadow's Trap. Anyway, this chapter was fun to play. Hate errors. Give me a moment, guys. So, anyway, this chapter was fun to play. I was able to complete it on all difficulties, and I was also able to unlock Tagoro. So let the menace begin. Tinsel and the duelist saw Falcon approach the demon known as Black Shadow. He was 20 feet away from where he stood, as well as his own machine, whatever that was. It was also pretty dark and almost horrifying with the dim lights and the continuous thunderstorms. They huddled together and hid beside the comet, in which they noticed this event. Pretty terrifying for them.
Falcon, you've come to die. I needn't have wasted time looking for you then. Let's settle this at the Grand Prix. Not like this. It's the coward's way. The coward's way? You make it sound so noble. I just plan to eliminate anyone who stands between me and the prize. Simple as that. Falcon, take this! What are you doing? Come out, Blood Falcon! Are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Farewell, Captain Falcon. You and Blue Falcon can die together.
Oh boy. Things are really starting to go down. This is undoubtedly my favorite chapter, no doubt. Not to mention it's been seen in a flashback many times. You'll see why. And this was actually the first time I saw Blood Falcon. And no, I am not counting the color swaps in Smash Bros. They don't count. Alright. Alright, here we go. After them! Tinsel said. She wasted not a single millisecond as the gang scrambled in the comet's cockpit. With no time to spare, they chased after the Blue Falcon again, never caring whether or not the two evildoers would notice them. It was only a matter of seconds before they realized Joey wasn't with them. Yami scrounged through the back seat. Joey? Joey! He faced the pilot. He's not here. What? Where is he? Meanwhile, the elusive pilot barely had enough endurance to break apart the bonds. Which, as you already saw, it also read that his speedometer should drop below 800 kilometers an hour. Falcon's adrenaline went up. never wanting to know what would happen to him nor his precious craft. However, his life was more important, and he snapped back to reality as he avoided the obstacles in his way. First was a dash plate, which was good, knowing he's in the safe zone. Then there were a small handful of cars. He blasted his headlights, and the cars scurried aside. Plus, there were a few sharp turns in which he drifted through. Beside the comet, Tinsel and Yami noticed their friend riding on a duel monster. It was a gigantic black dragon with sharp claws, which, as you all know, is Joey's most favorite monster, as well as the most famous, the Red Eyes Black Dragon, the dark incarnate of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Joey! What are you doing? Get back inside right now! It's too dangerous! No way! I'm not gonna let these evil bastards win. For crying out loud, we need him. He's the Grand Prix champion, and he's the one who may know who we're dealing with. He needs our help. Just make sure you don't get struck. I won't. Maybe crazy, but at least they can admire his great courage. I'm gonna try and dismantle the bomb. Be careful, Joey. Don't get blown into bits too. Relax, Hugh. I know what I'm doing. I hope. As Falcon was driving vigilantly through the obstacle course of hell, Joey and his red eyes attempted to lift the speed-sensitive bomb off. His claws dug in as much as they could, but the sudden sharp turns and the collisions made it easy to slip up. As their ally bumped into a wall, Joey was so nervous he'd explode with him on top of it. But he never gave up. Not even the stubborn inclines and more of those pesky cars couldn't stop them. The velocity was too much that Joey wasn't able to draw a card, not even the dragon's sharp claws. But at least Red Eyes was able to scare away any troubled driver that would get in the helpless Falcon's path. Then it began to narrow. Thankfully, there was a speed booster, but that was only a brief respite as they came across a few dirt areas, slowing down the captor. With his quick thinking, Falcon used his booster and increased and maintained the speed limit above 800 kilometers. Whenever he was several centimeters close, the rotating bomb on the roof turned red, ready to burst. Fortunately, Falcon was smart and foolish enough to prevent it. But the bad news was, since he consumed most of his machine's energy from the rapid boosting and the endless impacts throughout the highway, the hovercar itself turned red, meaning it was severely low. This put Joey in a state of panic. Oh, come on! Hang in there, Falcon! He was so worried that he forced his red eyes to dig into his talons deeper, which resulted in a few cracked nails. The dragon was just as wound up as ever as it used all its body weight to detach the bomb. The serpent and his rider were going weary and dizzy from the constant movement. Then there was a deep incline leaning toward the left. Falcon tapped another guardrail, disabling the dragon's hold. And Red Eyes wasn't able to land on it due to its weak claws with the Blue Falcon speeding away from them. And just what they saw overhead was... I wish that cutscene would actually feature this. You'll see why. Joey observed the problem. Balanced it, Red Eyes! It obeyed instantaneously as it soared beneath the Falcon and used its curved head to lift it toward the hook. It was conveniently placed, and the height was barely enough, by a few inches. It made contact, and the bomb was finally separated. The Falcon made it safely to the other side, but Joey and his monster were all washed up as the bomb exploded in the river several feet below. By the time it was clear, the comet jumped over the gap, which wasn't as long as the pilot anticipated. It immediately stopped as soon as it landed. She and Yami emerged. They looked around for their missing comrade. Ugh. Oh, oh. The duo went over and they pulled him up. Joey's body was completely soaked from head to toe. Are you all right? Yeah, I think so. He looked at the spent card. His face darkened. That was a sign that his monster was used up. I think my red eyes did the job and saved Falcon. Where is he? I believe he made it. Then he got away. He escorted him back into the comet, but the sudden flash and crash made them startle. Ah! Let's get out of here! I told you we'd turn into lightning rods. The trio headed through a straightaway, then a warp gate, not knowing where their compatriot and idol had ended up. Oh, what a day! They settled in the outskirts of Mute City. This has been one disaster after another. I don't think we should follow Falcon anymore. It's just far too much. Yugi and Joey felt the same, exasperated and wound up, especially trying to comprehend the champion's greatest adversary and his evil twin. Everyone was put on edge. Yugi and Joey found Tinsel pacing around. Okay, we got a man who's clearly either from hell or the Shadow Realm, who's capable of causing so much havoc, and God knows what he can do. And then there's a guy who, as far as I can tell, is Captain Falcon's doppelganger. I mean, how are we supposed to survive with these bastards roaming around? What is going on here? Who is this guy? Let's just take this one at a time. We need to analyze this so we can know who we're up against. I knew he's from the Shadow Realm. I'm surprised we never saw him in Battle City with Merrick. He could be another duelist for all we know. Well, I'm ready for him. Drew out a card. No, he isn't. Everyone turned toward the baritone voice that came from behind. Captain Falcon! As soon as everyone caught their breaths, Tinsel stepped forward. Look, I'm sorry we've been following you. We didn't mean to be a bunch of stalkers. We were just curious. We tried to save you from Black Shadow's plans on killing you. Yeah, wouldn't want him to let him have his way. Yugi and I aren't racers, but we've heard a lot about you. He took out a hand to shake. The Falcon shook it in a coy manner. I guess curiosity does kill the cat. We really want to apologize. Don't. I'm actually glad you saved my life. So you were all the ones who were lifting the speed-sensitive bomb and escorting me and Jody out of the exploding power plant. Yeah, we were. So who is this Black Shadow? And that clone we saw back there? Do you know these guys? As a matter of fact, I do. Come, I'll explain along the way. We'd better hurry if we're going to enter the Grand Prix in a couple hours. Grand Prix? Oh my gosh! There was supposed to be another race? I've been turning out the races for so long, it was like child's play. I didn't even know. The F-Zero Grand Prix is tonight? Falcon gave her a quick examination with just a keen sight. Are you Tinsel Steelus? Yes, I am. Her strong hand on her shoulder. We have much to discuss. You're welcome to bring your friends along. Sure. They stopped by the racing grounds where the competition will be held. He only had about a half hour to spare. The trio introduced themselves to Falcon. He did the same, although it was strange as he never heard of duel monsters before. He was pretty amazed at how they got his death averted all those times were just phenomenal. Yuki also told him about Yami's spirit within the Millennium Puzzle, how he was able to change forms. The bounty hunter had never seen anything like it on all his travels. Nevertheless, there was still one more vital detail he had to tell him. You've missed out so much, Tinsel. It's astonishing how you were able to survive after that incident at Whiteland. It's like you came back from the dead somewhat. I suppose it would have been quite a shock for you. Yes, it was. I never wanted to race after that. I was so traumatized that I never wanted to use the Silver Comet again. Until recently, about 13 years. Even though I lost, I was still qualified for the final challenge, the King League. But I refused. I understand, but you must know something. There was also an incident within the last race. Have you ever been to Firefield? No, I don't think I have. Wait, what incident? Trio was anxious to know what they'd missed. Tinsel felt guilty for abandoning the races when she should have participated. There was this event known as the horrific grand finale. About 8 years ago, it was located deep within the bowels of a planet that was said to house the best minerals in the galaxy. Then, some greedy drilling companies hit the nerve of a volcano, causing the entire world to be flooded by magma. They went into bankruptcy and joined the F-Zero Committee for funding reasons. So far, the location was used twice as one of the most fatal circuits in the universe, hence the name Firefield. And then there was the finale. Falcon stated that before F-Zero X tournaments, there was a 7-year suspension of Grand Prix races due to the horrific grand finale. It was a violent and fiery accident that incinerated 14 drivers to death, including Sterling Levon, now known as the Skull during the old days of F-Zero. Another racer, an oddball superhero named Super Arrow, escaped unscathed. And one of his longtime racing rivals, Dr. Robert Stewart, attended all the critically wounded, including Falcon. Actually, it was supposed to be Kevin Stewart. My bad. During his hospitalization, he was unexpectedly ambushed by Black Shadow. He felt weak and sedated before his nemesis got there. He managed to steal his DNA and made himself a clone so he could have the leg up on the competition. About 3 years into the prohibition, he eventually noticed Blood Falcon himself during some of his practice races in Port Town. For 7 long years, rumors were spreading like wildfire saying it was Pico who caused the crash, an alien who's well known for his reckless driving. However, he knew in his heart that Black Shadow was the true culprit behind it all. Before the F-Zero Extreme Grand Prix, the Galactic Federation decreed that no racing was allowed. Despite the prohibition, the sport went underground where many racers, including Falcon and Super Arrow, went to hone their skills indiscreetly. Crash established the F-Zero Racing Committee after a speech by Super Arrow to the Federation Congress, which after a 7-year battle helped lift the ban. The F-Zero Championship made a comeback with the rules and regulations revised. Yet still, Black Shadow and his closest associate Blood Falcon were at their old tricks. The Emperor of Brutality wanted to eliminate his rivals, but also murder Falcon in front of millions of fans as a way to strike in fear. As if the finale wasn't bad enough. None of them could speak. Could barely believe what they just heard. Tinsel really did dodge a plethora of bullets. So, aside from the fact that Firefield is a literal representation of hell, who is this Black Shadow? He's known as the Emperor of Brutality. He's very aggressive, more so than any other racer, especially Pico. His machine is number 30, the Black Bull. It is a menace across the track with high cornering and body strength, yet he's very slow. With his sweeping and mercilessness, he's a monster. Blood Falcon's hardly any different. He doesn't have the same mechanics as my Blue Falcon, but he's close. The Hellhawk is incredibly fast and strong, though its grip needs improvement. We should use these features for our advantage. The Black Bull's lack of speed and the Hellhawk's poor grip. This should be quite a difficult challenge. Of course, which is why I need your help, Tinsel. Falcon, I haven't practiced in 13 years. I'm not sure I can do it. It's been so long, but I've seen you race before. You did well when you won second during the Night League. You may be a novice, but I'm confident you'll make it through, especially since you survived in Lightland. How about I just take on Blood Falcon while you deal with Black Shadow? You seem to know him better than I do. Sounds good. What are the rest of us supposed to do? I guess you two can stand by and prepare your monsters and your trap cards, just in case if Black Shadow were to cause another accident. Alright, that's a great idea. I managed to save a couple spots for you two in the front bleachers. You should be fine. Thanks, Falcon. Yuke and I would love to hammer these guys if we can. Attention all pilots! The Mute City race will begin very shortly. Return to your vehicles immediately. I guess we should go. Don't worry, Tinsel. You're with the unstoppable Grand Prix champion. I'm sure the both of you can win this. Be careful, you two. Be careful, you two. Thanks, and good luck, guys. The two pilots grinned and gave them a salute. As Mr. Zero proceeded to point out every opponent, everyone was accounted for. Falcon and Tinsel were prepared to face their toughest challenge yet. This was actually the first time I've ever heard or even encountered Black Shadow. Never played X, so I had no idea what to expect. Even I was put on edge and curious who and what Black Shadow and Blood Falcon were. Then I read up on the horrific accident which the game didn't really explain much. Little did I know it was copy-paste from X's profiles. For the longest time I really thought it took place during the events in X, not Firefield from the original. Then I learned a bit more about Black Shadow from GP Legend as I met Dark Million. I was really fascinated by this guy and still don't understand why no one, and I mean no one, has ever mentioned him on their favorite villains lists on YouTube. Why not? Well, at least Captain Falcon was able to fit the pieces of the puzzle together. Now it's off to the nefarious F-Zero Grand Prix. This is gonna be good. Until then, this is the Ecron Writers signing out. I am not looking forward to this.